NDC Heartbeat podcast. We're happy to have all of you on this afternoon. Those who are listening on VFM, Vibes FM, Spice Capital Radio, and indeed those who are on the NDC Facebook page. We welcome you to the Heartbeat this afternoon. It's another beautiful Sunday afternoon in Grenada, having had some showers last night. It's just nice and cool and mellow. You would notice, however, that our background today is slightly different. It's because we are up and about. There's a major, big event today, as you know. Uh, the Honorable Delma Thomas, she is having a massive ceremony out in her constituency this afternoon. So the heartbeat is on the move out there. But we'll be catching up with them later on this afternoon. But for today's program, we're going to be chatting with Dr. Helen Lewis out of New York. She is the acting PRO of the National Democratic Congress New York chapter, and she's joined by other colleagues, members of that chapter. And later we'll be chatting with Dr. Terence Walters. He is the National Disaster Coordinator. As you know, our rainy season starts officially on the beginning of June. But so he'll be chatting with us and some preparatory, matters that the nation, we need to be conscious of. Then for the last part of the program, we'll be joined by the General Secretary of the party, Mr. Larry Barry. We'll be chatting about a number of matters, including the present political atmosphere. We'll be chatting about the upcoming event to mark the first year of the party being in office. So they have some major events, activities, and so forth. So he'll be chatting with us on that. So before we start with Dr. Lewis and her team, we'll just take a short break for a quick announcement, and then we'll right back to her and her colleagues. Back at you in a moment.
The National Democratic Congress, St. Andrew Southeast Branch, is inviting the general public to a town hall meeting on Monday, May 22nd, 2023. The meeting will be held at the Telescope Community Center, time 7 p.m. Speakers include Honorable Lennox Andrews, Honorable Ron Redhead, Senator Gloria Thomas, and our caretaker, Senator David Andrew. Come out to know what has been happening in your constituency, the plans moving forward, and what opportunities are available to you, the people of St. Andrew Southeast. We also look forward to hearing from you, the constituents, as we do our best working together for the greater cause of moving our constituency forward.
Okay, so let's settle this once and for all. Who's the better cook, men or women? That's it. So let's set off to find out. The NDC New York chapter presents Cook Off. Yeah, men versus women. It's on Saturday, May 27th from midday until 5 p.m. And it's at the Nutmeg House on 1215 Flatbush Avenue in Brooklyn at the corner of Ditmas Avenue. The featured dishes will be oil down, cuckoo, and lamping waters. Admission is only $20, and that will enable you to taste all the dishes. But takeaway is available for sale. For more information on the contest and the event, call Nelcol at 914-309-0286, Helen at 973-462-0596, or Lynn at 347-581-5764. There'll be live music, a cash bar, and dope prizes to be won. It's Saturday, May 27th. The contest is on. Who's the better cook, men or women? It's all organized by the NDC New York chapter.
Welcome back to all those of you who are on the NDC Heartbeat today, those who are on VFM, Vibes FM, Spice Capital Radio, and indeed those who are on the NDC Facebook platform. Well, we have on Zoom Dr. Helen Lewis. As I said earlier on, she is the acting PRO of the NDC New York chapter, and she is joined with other colleagues of hers. And we'll be just chatting quickly on a major upcoming event which they are promoting. So, Dr. Lewis, welcome to Heartbeat, and it's great to have you and your colleagues.
Thank you, Brother Terry. Thank you. Thank you for that welcome.
Great, fantastic. We ran just a moment ago your ad, and maybe first of all you can introduce your colleagues and then tell us something about this major activity which you're putting on and how it's progressing.
Definitely, Brother Forrester. So I have with me our Deputy Chair, Sister Sherry Ann Shelton, and our Assistant Secretary and our Assistant Treasurer, Sister Nicole Phillips.
Great. Well, welcome Sherry Ann, and welcome Nicole to the Heartbeat today. You want to tell us something about yourself and how are things going with this major event that you all are planning?
Yeah, I'm good. Hi, everyone. Sherry Ann. I'm going to let Sister Nelco go first and talk about all the exciting activities we have. She's also our fundraising chair for the New York City chapter.
Hey everyone, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here and to promote such an amazing event for the NDC chapter New York. Right now we're doing a cook-off, and the cook-off is it's a competition between men and women. You know that back home in Grenada, we have really awesome cooks. So I know that they brought all of their talents here in New York. So we're here, we're telling everyone to come out, bring your best dish. We're looking at oil down, cuckoo, callaloo, fish. We're also doing, different types of waters. And with this event, it's going to be about $20 to get in, and everyone will come in, do a tasting, and actually judge the cooks. So we look at it that we're trying to do a little bit of different and exciting events, so that this cookout was something that, was dreamed up, that just to get the community together, so that we know that, Grenada has the best cooks out there. We have a lot of other events that we also planned. In June, we have our retreat, but that is not a fundraising. It's more of like getting all of our members together so that we can communicate better and be a holistic team. So that will be June 10th. We're asking, for all our members to come out. And to celebrate our first year anniversary for the winning of Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell, we're having a special event. Also, it's a member appreciation party that will be free. We're asking everyone to come out and just celebrate, such an amazing win. That will be on Friday, June 23rd. And it will be at Kim's Place. There is a major flyers and everything that is out there, promotion on that.
We're having a lot of feedback there, but hopefully.
I think Helen, yes. And so on Sunday, which is 25th, we're having a brunch at the Nutmeg House also. So from May 27th, which is next Saturday, we're having a major cook-off, and then we're having major events in June. We also have some signature events that we're having a telethon. We're having, boat cruise, which is, we're having a boat ride in July. We're having the PM Gala that in September of 2023, and then in 2024 to celebrate the 50th Independence event, we're having it's a cruise. It's an all-inclusive cruise that we're going to be having in to celebrate, so that we can make the trip down to Grenada in February of 2024. So as you see, we have a lot of amazing events that is planned. Yep. I will pass it on to Sherry-Ann so that she can, really go in more details.
Great. Well, thank you so very much indeed. Yes, Sherry-Ann, over to you.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. So here in the New York, NDC New York chapter, we're excited about the year for 2023 and beyond. We're excited to be part of this transformation process, and we have a lot in store for the chapter, the members, and we're inviting, NDC people to come in, look at the chapter and join us. We're always looking for new people, and we're inviting you guys to come out to our events. These events are going to be fun, but most importantly, they're all about fundraising. We have a lot of other activities planned within the chapter in which we're going to give back to the Grenada community. So just look out for those things as well. But most importantly, on the 27th, we're having it at a brand new establishment, which is a Grenadian establishment called the Nutmeg House. The place is just amazing. So we're inviting all Grenadians in the diaspora, in Brooklyn, I should say, or in the surrounding states, to come out and enjoy. It's from 12 to 5 p.m. It's only $20. We're going to be food, music, and of course, good Grenadian vibes, because what else? We are the best. So we're inviting everyone to come on out on the 27th. Look out for the activities in June and beyond, because we have a lot in store for you guys, New York. You guys are not going to rest, because NDC is here to stay. And thank you very much.
Well, thank you indeed, Sharon. You're absolutely correct indeed. I mean, New York is dubbed the most effective overseas chapter, diaspora chapter, and obviously it's going to be a hard road for others to surpass what you guys are doing. We are so thankful for all your help, all your assistance in so many different ways, and we challenge in other chapters in Florida, in the UK, in Toronto. Try and step up to the plate and give New York some challenge. But it's going to be a hard road to travel.
We accept the challenge, Terry. We accept the challenge.
All right. Let's see how it goes.
And we're also asking for everyone to check out our Facebook page, our Instagram page. We're pretty much, on social media. And if anyone needs to get in touch with us, just look on our Facebook page, and we'll be there. There's a lot of ads that is out there. Our telephone numbers are out there. Sherry-Ann?
Yeah, so guys, if you guys want to get in touch with us to buy tickets, you can get in touch with Nelco or myself. If you're my friend on Facebook, ping me, go to the New York Facebook page. Our number is 917-975-6567. Or you can email us at ndcnewyork@yahoo.com, or you can go to the ndcgrenada.org site if you're looking for information about the chapter or the NDC in general. I urge you guys to go in, and you can also donate. So if you have any question, reach out to us, give us a call. We're accessible, social media, email, phone number, in person. We're here, we're accessible. Just give us a call. All right. Thank you all.
Great. Thank you very much indeed. Helen, we'll give you just the last few seconds just to wrap up. We got to go on to Dr. Terrence Walters. So over to you, Helen. Helen, are you there?
Unmute.
Helen, could you unmute?
Yes, I did. Sorry.
All right. Just your final comments.
So we're encouraging everybody to come out at our event on May 27th at the Nutmeg House. It's a great place. We'll have some exciting dope prizes. So come out and show your cuisine, your skills, and let's have some fun. And there will be live music.
Great. Well, thank you all so very much indeed. I wish it was only just a half an hour ride away. I certainly would have been there, but you never know what the future holds. So thank you all again so very much for joining the Heartbeat today, and congratulations on the efforts that you're putting into bringing the Grenadian masses together in the diaspora, and wish you all success as you move forward with your long calendar of events. So thank you again for joining the Heartbeat, and I guess we can do this again when next you have a major event coming up. So thank you. Okay, so what we're going to do now is to head over to Dr. Terence Walters. He is the National Disaster Coordinator, and we'll be chatting about what's going to be, what we should be looking out for as we come closer to the rainy season. Of course, most of you would realize that we have been getting some nice showers over the last day or two. And proprietary work, therefore, is needed so that we can protect life and property. So, Dr. Terence Walters, welcome to Heartbeat once again.
Thank you very much, Terry, and it's good to be here on Heartbeat.
Great, fantastic. Well, it looks as though NADMA is taking an early start to informing the general public, Grenadians locally, as to what they should be doing, what they should be expecting, how they should conduct themselves, and what are some of the preventative measures they can introduce at this time. So help us to understand this entire vision, and let us know how to keep safe.
Well, thank you, Terry. And just to mention here that preparedness, and we're talking general preparedness, it's basically year-round. But what we understand is that we have the hurricane season, which goes from June 1st to November 30 every year. And, you know, the storms, the hurricanes, the tropical cyclones, they can impact us, and we're quite vulnerable to these. So we place a lot of emphasis on the hurricane season, right, from June 1st to November 30. But again, we want to encourage the general population to be prepared for all the hazards at all times. So outside of the hurricane season, you have the other hazards that can impact us. There, you know, earthquakes, tsunamis. There's flooding that can impact us outside of the hurricane season. And then during the hurricane season, we have the storms. But along with the storms, we can be impacted by other hazards. So, for example, between 2020 to 2022, we had the pandemic. Okay, so the pandemic continued, but during the hurricane season, we still had the pandemic to deal with. And if we had to activate any shelters, okay, we would have to look at the pandemic, how we treated people, and still what's going to happen with the hurricane. So it's a year-round process, something that we need to continue to think about, to talk about, to encourage people to be prepared for all of the hazards year-round. But now, as we go into the hurricane season, that is where our focus is.
What are the projections by way of storms and hurricanes for this season?
So we have had some projections which say that the season would be just a little below average. All right, on average, we have about 15 or so named storms, but it would be just a little below average. NOAA, which is one of our main, providers of the information, they would give us something a little later in the month. I think it's coming up this week around the 25th. And so, but generally what they're saying is that the 2023 hurricane season will be just a little below average. But we want to emphasize here that while the prediction and the projection is for the hurricane season to be just a little below normal, below average, it only takes one storm, okay, to make it very active for any particular country. Because all you need is one storm, one hurricane to impact you, and you know you have a lot on hand to deal with. So that is why we're saying even if the predictions for the season to be a little just below average, we're encouraging people to continue to be prepared. Okay, so it's not a time to let your guard down or to think, well, oh, you know, it's below average, so nothing will happen or nothing may happen. Because one storm, that's all it takes, and then you could be in serious trouble. So even if we have predictions that say it's below average, let us continue to be prepared at all times.
Mhm. What would be the recommendations for persons securing the roof? For example, hurricane straps, or even just a piece of galvanized that you cut and put onto the rafter and onto the stud. Once you screw it in, that automatically becomes a hurricane strap. Would that be some of the things that you would encourage persons, especially with wooden homes, to ensure that you don't lose your roofs?
Yeah, those are some of the things. So, in terms of your roof, because we understand it's a lot of wind, we also have to be mindful that there can be a lot of water, right? But the wind and the roof, you should ensure that you use hurricane straps if you know, wherever possible. I know some people have built with their rafters sealed in concrete. So that's for people with concrete structures. They seal the rafters into the concrete. But for wooden structures, ensure that you have the hurricane straps, you know, onto your roof. In terms of shutters, okay, you can use hurricane shutters built outside, and then there are structures where you can use ply, you know, as hurricane shutters, and you can you know, take it down afterwards, or you before the hurricane or the storm, you affix the ply over your windows to prevent damage. All right, so some structures can do that, but there are people who have built with shutters affixed to their building or to their structures. And if, you know, we can even go on further. Some people have built concrete roofs, and then some people have built a secure room, you know, at the basement or downstairs of their house. So those are some of the things that you can do to ensure that you reduce the amount of damage sustained during a storm or a hurricane. And we have noted and noticed that after Hurricane Ivan, people are building with the storms in mind. So when you build, you ensure that you build in such a way that if there's a storm or a hurricane, the impact would be reduced on your property. So there are things that people have done, but we continue to encourage people to ensure that they do even more to reduce damage and loss and loss of lives, and so whenever there's a storm or a hurricane.
Great. Well, you know, one guy just recently, yesterday or day before, he said to me, for this hurricane season, what he plans to do so that he does not lose his roof. He has a wooden house. He says he's going to be putting some concrete into the earth around his house with a bit of steel, getting a whole set of cement bagged rope. And once he gets the announcement, he's strapping down his roof. I say, well, that sounds as a clever idea. This sounds like an idea engineers should be promoting so that you don't lose your roof. And thinking about it, it has merit, because if you go deep enough with the concrete and you put in a bit of steel and you can do a proper strap down, it's going to take a real heavy gust of wind to get that concrete out of the ground to take away your roof. So maybe individuals should take note of that.
Yeah, well, again, I mean, there are things that people you know, come up with to see you know, what can work. But I want to emphasize here that with the issue of climate change, we are seeing different things happening with the hazards. So the hurricanes sometimes more frequent, sometimes they're more intense. And like in 2017, we had two Category 5 hurricanes, that's Irma and Maria, passing through the region and creating a lot of destruction. And so, you know, even if you do whatever is necessary, right, you can't tell when these hazards will come in such a way that they will create a lot more damage, because they're doing a lot of things that we don't expect or don't anticipate. Okay, but the most we can do is continue to be prepared. You know, build according to the instructions given, you know, by the designers, and so our architects, you know, should look at, you know, how we build and how we ensure that we ensure that our buildings are built for hurricanes, built for earthquakes, you know, built for the hazards that can impact us. But yeah, we definitely need to continue to be prepared. And on a personal level, right? People need to ensure that they prepare in terms of having their family disaster plans, right? Your family needs to have a plan and know the hazards that can impact, how you will respond, what you will do, and you know how much food you need to store. So we can talk a little bit here about your disaster supplies kit, Terry. Right? We can go on to talk about that. But in terms of the buildings and so, we need to ensure that people understand how they can build and what they can do to reduce damage.
Okay. Well, we are kind of running close on time, so let me give you a minute to do your wrap up and introduce whatever you wish to. And because we have our General Secretary also coming on shortly. So it's over to you for your wrap up message to the general public.
Right, there's a lot more that we can talk about here, but I just want to encourage people to have your disaster supplies kit ready. We're talking about food, non-perishable food, water, and your first aid kit, ensure that you have a battery-operated radio, flashlight with batteries, all right, your family's disaster plan, which you mentioned earlier, and then your important documents. Ensure that you secure them in a waterproof container. Right? Make sure you secure all your important documents in a waterproof container. Now, also, I encourage you to listen for the list of shelters. Know where the shelters are located and the easiest route to get to the shelters. So we are going to release the list of shelters in the coming days, and we encourage people to know where they are located. So there's a lot that you can do on a personal level to ensure that you and your family are safe. And if we have that happening across the country, communities will be safer, and parishes will be safer, and then the country on a whole will be safer. So we encourage people to do what they can on a personal level to add to preparedness.
Great, fantastic. And NADMA is prepared. All its support staff out in the various communities, I imagine they're all trained, and they're ready to assist NADMA in the event that we do have an unfortunate hurricane hitting us this season.
Yeah, but just to say here that we have quite a number of volunteers, and we've had elections during the period February to April, and we have quite a number of new volunteers on board who we're working with to ensure that they're trained and prepared to respond in the event that we have to respond to any of these hazards. So we are very thankful to our volunteers across Grenada, Carriacou, Petite Martinique for the work that they are doing to ensure that the country is prepared to respond to any of the hazards.
Wonderful indeed. Well, thank you so very much, Dr. Terence Walters, for sharing with us this very valuable bit of information. It's early, and that's the way to go. That's the way to go. Early information can help people to prepare and be ready for any unfortunate circumstance that may present itself where hurricanes are concerned.
Thank you very much, Terry, and I look forward to coming back, because as we continue into the season, it's good to continue to engage the population about disaster preparedness.
Great. Thank you very much indeed. This was Dr. Terence Walters, National Disaster Coordinator for NADMA. And as he said, he certainly will be back again as we advance into the season, and to prepare the population so that we do not suffer any loss of lives or property as we go into this hurricane season. It's not as bad as it sounds. We just need to be prepared. That's all. That's all. Okay, well, coming on shortly, we have the General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, Mr. Larry Barry. And just to let you know, you would realize that our background is different today is because the Heartbeat is away from its regular studio. And there's a major event taking place this afternoon out in St. Andrews, Southwest. That is the Honorable Delma Thomas. She will be hosting a ceremony this afternoon at 3 o'clock in her constituency, close to Papadis, or in fact at Papadis. Those of you out there, of course, you're invited to come along and be part of the event. It's a public event. So we have to help us to chat about this, and also the major celebration activities of the party to mark its first anniversary in office. The General Secretary will also guide us through that and share with us of all the activities that are planned to mark this major event. So, welcome to Heartbeat, Brother Larry. It's good to have you once again.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Terry, for the welcome. Thank you very much to your team, your tireless team on Heartbeat, whose hearts beat every Sunday. In fact,
yes,
I noticed, Terry, you unleashed a new celebrity in town who is part of your Heartbeat team.
Yes,
I
indeed.
know there are people who on the grand stage, they come with grandeur. I have seen no more greater grandeur than the grandeur unleashed with all regalia and splendor by Madam ATL. So I notice when it comes to Heartbeat, talent extraordinaire resides within.
You're almost right.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to your team there. And thank you very much to our supporters. Thank you very much to our stalwarts who have given us this great organization in its 35th year. We have a historic transition of this great institution. There'll be a historic first with a change of places and spaces at 3 this afternoon. But before we delve a little bit into that and what it means for who are, where they are, what they are, and what it means for those of the future, let me just remind Comrade Bond that if you're making oil down, Comrade Bond, you have to grate coconut. If you use coconut powder, you have a steam down. So I just want to give a tip to the men in New York. Yeah, go down to the Korean market or the West Indian market and look for coconut, please. And I want that oil down to be won by the men. But I can't see it happen.
We have lost your audio. Okay, you're good.
Just want to take the opportunity also to join with Comrade Walters in emphasizing the importance of hurricane preparedness and your hurricane preparedness plan, have your hurricane preparedness foods, and as he quite rightly pointed out, even if you may have a below average season, high winds do blow off roofs, and the importance of hurricane straps was emphasized by Brother Walter. So let me just join with him and the National Democratic Congress join in with the Grenadian community to be alert and prepared for this season approaching us. Terry, also I want to recommend that we have a fantastic party Facebook page, wealth of information and resources there. We want to encourage all our supporters and members to visit our party's Facebook page regularly, our party website, but more importantly, our party's Facebook page and other social media pages. But in particular, we have a lot of information. And I just wanted to take the opportunity quickly, Terry, to talk about, at least to encourage members and supporters and Grenadians generally. We've just had the artistic impression of the new Seamoon Cultural Center posted there by the Minister for Culture. Fantastic 10 images of the artistic impression of the new Seamoon Cultural Center. We're going to return to the cultural glory days up at Seamoon. But I mean, when you look at the parking, the conference room, the design of the roof, it's just a fantastic design. And I can't wait to see that project completed and we return to the Calypso semifinals at the Seamoon Cultural Center. The heart of Calypso is going to return to Seamoon on that brand new Seamoon Cultural Center. It's a fantastic design, a lot of images there. So please, folks, after Heartbeat or during Heartbeat or anytime, please head over to our Facebook page And you'll see a lot of opportunities for you to engage with the party on the page. I want to take the opportunity to congratulate the St. Andrew Southwest for having their having found a new party office. Terry, it's important that the public is aware that in the 9 constituencies that the National Democratic Congress were successful in, we have 2 offices. We have the Member of Parliament office and we have the party office. We do not do party business in the MP's offices. We have a party office for party business, party meetings, unlike in the past, where the previous administrations subsumed party business, government business in the same space. This is not the case with the NDC. Party business has its party office, and the government business, the MPs, have the MP office, where the government business takes place. So just to be clear, we do not mix the two, as was the case in the past. So if you want to go and discuss party business, there's a party office in all 9 of the MP's constituencies. And if you want to discuss government business and you have government issues and engagements you wish to have, you go to the MP office. Yeah? That is a standard of governance, and that is a standard of decency that the National Democratic Congress has restored to the public space. And I just want to make sure that everybody's aware. So when you saw that a celebration of a party office in Southwest, just down the street from Victoria Park, and then the MP's office is further down in Sobeys, just opposite Chillaxin. Terry, it was nice to see, and in fact, another important reason for going to a party Facebook page is you will see some of the MPs and caretakers and ministers, senators. You would see they're posting up their office days and that they are going to be available on which days and so on. It's important that we go there. And a number of our party events, the page is filled with all our party events. Don't forget, you've heard some of the events earlier, but we have our own Romana Cruz St. Patrick's East and West. That's coming up. It's a fantastic opportunity to engage in a number of other party events there.
Yeah, that's on the 10th of June. Yeah.
Yes. For the month of June, well, the rest of May and June. Yes. And we're going to come to a fantastic week of activities in June shortly, Terry. But we have an opportunity this evening to witness a transition to another place, in another space at Papa D's in Mirabel. You know, Terry, the train is leaving, and it is leaving some behind. The train is leaving, and it is leaving some behind. We saw the train leave in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. One of their own have gone on to magisterial work elsewhere and have left that group behind. We see the former minister and current MP for St. Andrews Northwest, left by her own hand, left that place and is moving to another place. So at Papa D's this evening, you can witness the continuation of a change of place and space by the MP. And that change of place and space is to a better place and space. And you would find all kinds of negative spin and communications around it. But it doesn't take away from the salient feature that they too have, you know, Terry, I was on the campaign trail for the June 2020 elections. And on one of the platform stops, one of the pocket meetings, I recall saying to both NDC and NNP persons who were listening to that pocket meeting, I recall saying that we can sympathize, empathize, commiserate with those on the other side who themselves are victims of a certain kind of paternalistic abuse. Because, for example, Terry, while they boasted a historic 7 female MPs, they boasted an historic 7 female MPs. We had 4 female MPs in the previous administration in St. Andrew, 4, all holding ministerial portfolio. And we have seen the most devastating economic and social decline in St. Andrew. You telling me 4 females, 1 day seats in St. Andrew, 3 banks picked up and left St. Andrew. 3. We suffered decline in agriculture. We suffered decline in commerce and economic activity. We suffered poor infrastructure. In fact, there was no infrastructure. No infrastructure. A Simon Cultural Center that could not even get a bobcat, $18 million contract given. And for months, not even a bobcat was seen on the ground there, but 4 female MPs. So what does that say? It says exactly what MP Delma Thomas said, that they were suffering. It speaks volumes of the kinds of abuse. There are all kinds of abuse, you know. I'm a student of abnormal psychology, Terry.
I think that was Pamela Moses who confirmed about the abuse.
Well, the Pandora's box was opened by MP Delma Thomas in her expose of what Pamela suffered. Her expose started that
trend.
Communicating their own challenges. But Terry, it was historic. It was historic.
Oh, yes.
But you saw that they had no voice. How could you have 4 MPs in one parish and that parish suffer the greatest decline economically, socially, and otherwise?
That's true.
There is a single decent piece of infrastructure. Look at the state of the sidewalks in St. Andrews. Look at the state of the sidewalk in the town of Grenville. It's shameful. In fact, the sidewalks are an injury risk to users. One of the businessmen told me they have replaced almost 15 slabs from the time this project was rushed through around June last year, May, June. They were scampering around the town of Grenville in a vulgarity, an infrastructural vulgarity of comparison, really. What is the result? Shallower drains, faster flooding, injury-prone usage of those sidewalks. I mean, it's contemptuous. It's contemptuous what has happened in the town of Grenville. On that administration, they had 15 seats and 4 MPs, all women, in the parish of
Yeah, that's a fact.
And therefore, when you see one of the other changing places and spaces, continuing that journey from the resignation to the ceremony this evening at 3, it says to all.
Larry, as you talk about the Grenville situation, important to note that to date, still we need a pump, and we never had a pump lodged in Grenville to pump out any water to sea when there is flooding. And this is something that needs to be attended to quickly.
We would have to fix it. Terry, let me tell you something. I mean, I know we don't have the time because we have to go on to the week of activity, but let me just say this quickly. It is historic, the difference in the quality of governance between the NDC and the NNP.
Oh, yes.
Considering these are the 2 political parties that have governed the country. NNP
There's no question about it.
22 of the last 27 years. So while we had a short stint in government, 2008, 2013, 4.5 years then, and of course 4 3/4 years, 1990 to 95. More importantly, we have seen. Terry, let me just add some. Let me pour out my 1 second.
Yeah, while you are doing that, let me just take this opportunity to remind the general public that the Honorable Delma Thomas, she'll be hosting a ceremony out in her constituency this afternoon, close to Maribor. That will be at Papi D's, and it starts at 3 o'clock. And our political leader and Prime Minister will be there. He'll be making some remarks. Of course, the Honorable Delma Thomas, she will be the featured person there this afternoon, and she will have lots of her supporters who will be participating in this. So welcome back, Larry. Yes, so we were chatting.
Yes.
Time is quickly moving on with
Terry.
us, so let's wrap up on the Delma Thomas ceremony, and then we can go into the activities to mark the first year in office of the NDC.
Right. Yes, indeed, Terry. Thanks for that. My power left. So, just to say, Terry, it's important to quickly recall in St. Andrew, during the Tillman Thomas-led administration of 2008, we built the bus terminal. And Terry, we delayed the opening of the bus terminal so that we could have addressed the outflow and the backing up of the sea to ensure that when the terminal was completed, the sewage systems and so on could have been properly addressed, and the flooding around that area could have been properly addressed. I recall the condemnation from the former Prime Minister then, opposition leader then, condemning the time it was taken for the NDC to complete and open the bus terminal. And I recall we had a soft opening, and the Prime Minister, Tillman Thomas, then elaborated the importance of addressing the flooding and the status of the flooding around the terminal. He was widely condemned. We were engaging the Dutch to help us address that. We were in the 2013 elections, we were unsuccessful in our bid to return to office. And the same NNP who condemned the time the bus terminal took left the bus terminal for 5 years and were just before the 2018 elections scampered to go and put some roof in there to open the terminal. 5 years the bus terminal served as a parking lot for supermarkets in Grenfell. NNP did nothing to address the flooding. So that between 2018 and 2022, the St. Andrews busmen complained ad nauseum about the flooding there.
Right.
Nothing was done. So that is the extent to which their approach to governance and to development is just simply vulgar. And then they want to come and talk. Sometimes you hear them talk and playing pious and holy, but we will address them in a subsequent engagement. We return with the from the desk of the General Secretary, and we'll pick it up next Sunday. Let me say we are delighted to alert our supporters, our members, and the general public. We have a fantastic week of activities. We're going to be speaking more about it every Sunday and throughout the weeks ahead. We'll have flyers and promotional pieces around our week of activities. It starts on Friday, June 16th. Friday, June 16th. We start on the west. Some of the best sunsets you can find in Grenada is on the west. So we go to St. John's. We start in the fishing village. We start in the Republic of St. John's. We start in the Republic of Guam on Friday, June 16th with a pre-celebration dance fundraiser. Yeah, so you'll get more information on that. So we kick off our week of activities Friday, June 16th. We journey to Guam, to the Republic, for a grand dance and fundraising effort there. On Wednesday, June 21st, the Prime Minister's National Address at the Trade Center from 7 p.m. Gather, well, Terry, the Prime Minister and the PR will say more. but it is going to be a national address with some great national reporting. The Prime Minister is going to announce an important defending of our patrimony, an important defending of this country's patrimony.
Indeed.
And the cost to us to defend our patrimony that the others gave away. The Prime Minister will be announcing on Wednesday, June 21st, in our week of activities to celebrate our first year. He is going to be discussing in his national address the effort he led to restore and defend this country's patrimony against those who gave it away, and the cost of electing the wrong people and not defending our people's interests by those who went before. Thank God, Terry. Thank you, Jesus, that we had a change of government on June 23rd, 2021, 2022. 2022. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
Amen.
And to the electors for heeding the call to change course. So a very important national address. We go to flood the Trade Center with citizens and patriots, home and abroad. We're going to go down there and join Honorable Deacon Mitchell, our beloved. We lock arms and go boldly down to the Trade Center on Wednesday, June 21st, and report our stewardship for the year, and to tell this country the effort it took to defend and protect our patrimony.
Indeed.
No more announcement on June 21st could be greater than this special announcement by the Honorable Prime Minister. Then Thursday, June 22nd, we'll move to the big parish.
Before you go on, Larry, before you go on, it's important to note that at that presentation, which is unusual, the public would have an opportunity to pose questions to the Honorable Prime Minister. That is an unusual aspect of
this is the standard
a presentation.
A national address.
Yeah.
Terry, we asked to give us an opportunity to transform. Transformation is not just building buildings. Transformation is about policies that matter. Transformation is about processes that are established. Transformation is about structures that are built, both tangible and intangible structures, processes, frameworks. Accountability is not only disclosing what you do, but it's being questioned on it in open forum. That's transformative. And that's what we're building. On Friday, June 23rd, we have a National Day of Prayer. It's a global activity. It's a candlelight vigil at the Las Vegas playing field from 6 p.m. It's in collaboration with the National Women's Arm, the St. David's Women's Arm, the National Democratic Congress, National Day of Prayer. The outline is a lovely 3-hour event. We'll have persons of all walks and strands offering up prayers and thanks to the Almighty for changing course June 23rd, 2022. Come with your candles. Go and buy your candles. If you get colored candles, just come with your candles, and we're going to light up Las Vegas in prayer and thanksgiving. Wonderful. Friday, June 23rd. Sunday, June 25th, we have our anniversary church service. MPs, caretakers, and delegation of our various churches in and across constituency will be a part of that. We'll announce the specific church service, but there'll be church services around the various constituencies, and then we'll have a signature. So that is the 25th, the morning. And Sunday, June 25th, the afternoon, we go down to the National Stadium for a festival of celebration.
You're losing your audio.
Live performances. Yes, is a number of calls that have been coming in, Terry. Sorry. So
okay.
that's the week of activities. As a week of activities, we go to our church service on the 25th. Then we go to the National Stadium. Tickets are already out. Go to how we doing it, Terry, and for our members and supporters. What we have is that you buy a ticket. It's $60 for a ticket, $100 for two. You go down to the stadium and you hand in your ticket and you get your bingo card. Yeah?
Yep.
And then you have, in fact, Terry, I have a friend who said, Barry, I'm not driving with you. Eh? I said, what? She said, no, I'm not driving with you to the festival. I'm going down with my driver's license to drive out with a vehicle. So she already put her name on one of the vehicles down there at the bingo. So Terry, that's the week of activities. We'll zero in on a couple of them as we go forward with a couple of our Sunday Heartbeat. I want to thank you again, Terry, for the opportunity as always to engage. I really want to thank you for your stewardship of the Heartbeat. You and your fantastic team there who give so much committed service every Sunday. As I've said before, and I continue to repeat, your team are not sitting in a studio. They carry equipment and have to put it together all every Sunday. We really appreciate that. And we will always thank you and your team for your service to this party. We want to thank our stalwarts who have given us a 35-year party, 35-year-old party that we can build on. We want to really thank our supporters for staying the course. Notwithstanding our defeats 2013, 2018, the support for the party grew. Election on election, hundreds of new voters came on board with the NDC. So we're going to be always grateful and thankful. Special thanks to our MPs, our caretakers, our ministers. Special thanks to our advisors. Special thanks to the range of foot soldiers who are continuing to carry this party, or chairpersons of our constituencies or diaspora groups. You spoke to Helen earlier as the acting PRO for New York
chapter.
She's also leading, and she's a fantastic lady wearing a couple of hats. But we've been working together for the last 7 months, Terry, to establish another of the diaspora chapters. We're going to have a New Jersey chapter, and she has been leading that effort with me. She now have a team of an interim executive. I'm going to speak more to that in from the desk of the General Secretary next Sunday. Terry, thank you so much. Supporters.
Before you leave, Larry, let me just first of all thank all those who've joined us on WeFM, Vibes FM, Spice Capital Radio. I know they have to go on to other programming come 1 o'clock, but we can continue on Facebook for another 5 minutes thereabout. I wanted to get your perspective on the recent major event which was held in Grenada entitled Unleash, the creative energy and the creative spirit of the Grenadian people. I would want to get, when you close, to give your perspective on that major event which was held in Grenada, which has set a sort of new platform for not just Grenada, but for the region.
Terry.
So give us your perspective on that once you close off on the activities and the Delma Tama ceremony as we close the program.
Yes, well, we change in places and spaces this evening at 3 at Papadis in Mirabeau, and we have a week of activities that we're going to speak more to. Terry, if you took note, I opened my engagement with our members and supporters this evening celebrating Unleash. In fact, Terry, my WhatsApp profile continues to be Unleash, so that when I hail one of your own, Sister Etienne, in the studio, I hail her as the embodiment of what a rich historic occasion Unleash was. So I thought you would have given me kudos for opening this presentation with Unleash.
Well, as a matter of fact, you always give them kudos, whether if it's mentioned or not.
But Terry, listen, I know a lot of people Terry, I mean, I don't know why I get me started with this. I was abroad. Yeah, I was not able to attend in person, but I attended virtually because I was abroad with with family on a couple of important occasions that and we had to be over there. But let me say this, Terry. I know I took in almost all the session. Yeah, I took in almost all the session. I mean, Orlando set the stage. Brother Nurse, Dr. Keith Nurse was particularly critical to our efforts. I am pleased. And let me also thank Terry. Let me also thank, in fact, I must admit, I never knew of the bank that sponsored the event. I listened to the manager, one of the managers of the bank, who came and articulated their sponsorship of the event and their commitment to our cause. The goodly manager of the bank gave the commitment of the bank to continue to work with Grenada in this groundbreaking initiative. Yep. So I also want to, on behalf of the National Democratic Congress and our own cultural community, thank the bank. I've never heard of the bank before, and I think she said they were 55 years old in this business of financing for the cultural and creative sector. So I'm going to do some more research around what they do and so, but I'm really just grateful. I know everybody talk about Mr. Keller's presentation, but Terry, there's a little presentation that caught my attention. There's a little presentation. I don't think, I'm not seeing anybody comment on it and so. It's a young man who presented, I don't recall his name now, but I think he's involved in photography and social media. And he said, let us make this conference trend. And he asked everybody to post it on their Facebook page and, post it on and do a live and so on. I saw everybody was on the phone and so on. That might have been, quite exciting and so on. But he made a comment and he asked a question. And I want us to see the value of that with the Honorable Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell's vision when he articulated the National Spice Replanting Program. Seem unrelated, but let me tell you why the thing caught my attention. In all the presentation, I listened quite a number of the presentations. He asked, what is it that we are good at? What is it that we are famous for? And there was silence in the room. There was silence in the room. Eventually, someone shouted, "Cocoa." Someone from the audience shouted, and when the person shouted, he commented, okay. What struck me is that he was emphasizing that you embrace what's germane to you as a country, as a people, and you promote it. And you have the cluster around it that could then be pulled by it. And I think Dr. Nurse and others, they did contextualize it, and Mr. Keller gave his own experience with Afrobeat and so on. But why this caught my attention and stayed with me so much, Terry, in all these grand presentations, what about a little bit that caught my attention and stayed with me? Let me tell you why. Terry, we made a fundamental error. Rebranding the Spice Isle to Pure Grenada. We made a fundamental. That error, that cost us a natural branding that we were already famous for, and have to rebrand ourselves in a way that 100 other countries have already called themselves. Dominica is pure nature. Dominica is pure. Malta is pure this. Jamaica is pure sun, sand, and sea, and spice. Everybody have a pure something about it. We spend millions of dollars to take away one of the most unique brand of a country, to rebrand it in 100 other countries. You see the devastating effect of bad policies, bad decisions, and bad outcomes.
Indeed.
We were the Spice Isle. We are now 9th or 10th in the world in the production of spices. Yet, every time Andre Fletcher walks out the bat in a T20, the commentators refer to him as the man from the Spice Isle. When our footballers go out there, they call them the Spice Boys. When our netballers go out there, they call them the Spice Girls. In fact, I want to also call our swimmers. We have a boss swim team that goes to the OECS all the time and clean up the OECS. We should call them the Spice Dolphins. But NNP saw it fit to bulldoze a natural, unique brand that ran through our DNA and removed it, pay millions of dollars to call it something that nobody can distinguish us from anymore.
That is true.
So that in Grenada, in a creative sector conference, we could not unleash on that presenter that we're the Spice Isle and we're famous for spices. Hence the importance of Deacon Mitchell's, Honorable Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell's vision of a national spice replanting program. The net effect of which is going to catapult us back to the top in spices, and to recreate and re-establish our natural brand, the Spice Isle. And Terry, that is why that little presentation stuck with me. It showed that a presenter coming in from abroad was able to unleash in me the value of what the vision, the day he took up the leadership of this country. And that is why you do not trifle. You do not trifle with a party, with a country's natural gifts. You do. There's a, you know, when I was in primary school, Terry, some missionaries used to go around the primary schools and to give a New Testament. Terry, I have a New Testament that I received. I think it was from 2 or 3 GBSs. I'm talking about 1984, 85. I still have it.
Wow.
I still have it, Terry. And there is a preamble in the New Testament. Small book, preamble. And in the preamble, it says these contents in that Bible. It said, never trifle with these sacred contents. If you go to the preamble of the New Testament, I don't know if these New Testaments that they're doing these days have it, but I'm talking about the New Testament from the 1980s that I still possess. And I always read the preamble that says, do not trifle with these sacred contents.
Well, let me therefore just add, do not trample. Do not trample also.
Also, do not trifle, do not trample with these sacred contents.
Indeed.
We made a terrible error. We made a terrible error. And I hope in the second installment of Unleash, when the presenter asks, who are you? How are you known? What are you known for? What is your natural brand? There'll be a chorus of voices pulling the rafters down the building that says, we are the Spice Isle, a people vivacious and lively and full of color and spice.
Spice of the Caribbean. Indeed. Well, that is a perfect note to wrap up on. So I would ask you to do so in the next 30 seconds as we bring the program to a close. So it's over to you, General Secretary.
Thank you very much to all supporters and members. Thank you very much to the people who have stood by us through some of the most difficult times. Thank you very much for all our contributors, all our party supporters and members who pay their dues, who continue to go to all our party events and to give generously to our party's cause. Terry, there is so much to be grateful for in the National Democratic Congress. There is so much, Terry, the political leader and Prime Minister will tell you, he gets calls all the time from political parties around the region asking, you know, how were you able to overcome a 15-0 deficit twice, and what are some of the aspects that you would guide or support or encourage us? You just have to stand with your supporters and have your supporters tell the truth, have them engage in meaningful dialogue about your party, about your challenges and the future direction. Help emphasize the vision is always for a better country, a better people. We all will be better off. We all will grow when your party engages in good policies. We do not engage in vulgarity and indecency. We didn't have to try and do all kinds of backdoor deals for anybody to come over. People felt that they have had the worst of their own experience and they're ready to move on. Yeah, and they found a natural alternative to gravitate towards. So we're happy for our supporters in particular who have stayed the course. And as I said earlier, Terry, we continue to grow. Despite our unsuccessful runs in 2013 and 2018, the party support grew over the period. And of course, it grew again in 2022. So we don't take this for granted. We are always grateful. We'll remain eternally grateful to our supporters and members for staying the course, and always thankful to our stalwarts on whose shoulders we stand on.
Right. Well, thank you very much indeed, General Secretary Larry Barry, and thank you for sharing this afternoon. And I guess we'll catch up at Maribor out at Papides this afternoon, commencing at 3 o'clock, where the Honorable Delma Thomas will deliver.
Indeed, it's a bit raining, so don't let that deter you. Come on out.
Not at all. Okay, well, thank you very much. And let me thank all those who came earlier on. Dr. Terence Walters, he's the National Disaster Coordinator, and Dr. Helen Lewis and her team for joining the Heartbeat today. Thank you very much. And we'll catch up again next Sunday afternoon, where we'll do it all over again. Thank you for being part of the Heartbeat, and have a great Sunday afternoon. See you out at Maribor this afternoon. Have a good one.
The National Democratic Congress, St. Andrew Southeast Branch, is inviting the general public to a town hall meeting on Monday, May 22nd, 2023. The meeting will be held at the Telescope Community Center. Time 7 p.m. Speakers include Honorable Lennox Andrews, Honorable Ron Redhead, Senator Gloria Thomas, and our caretaker, Senator David Andrew. Come on out to know what has been happening in your constituency, the plans moving forward, and what opportunities are available to you, the people of St. Andrew Southeast. We also look forward to hearing from you, the constituents, as we do our best working together for the greater cause of moving our constituency forward.
Okay, so let's settle this once and for all. Who's the better cook, men or women? That's it. So let's set off to find out. The NDC New York chapter presents Cook Off. Yeah, men versus women. It's on Saturday, May 27th from midday until 5 p.m. And it's at the Nutmeg House on 1215 Flatbush Avenue in Brooklyn at the corner of Ditmas Avenue. The featured dishes will be oil down, cuckoo, and lumpy waters. Admission is only $20, and that will enable you to taste all the dishes. But takeaway is available for sale. For more information on the contest and the event, call Nelcol at 914-309-0286, Helen at 973-462-0596, or Lynn at 347-581-5764. There'll be live music, a cash bar, and dope prizes to be won. It's Saturday, May 27th. The contest is on. Who's the better cook, men or women? It's all organized by the NDC New York chapter.